It's often stated that you make your living by what you get, but you make your life by what you give. Pete Robinson made his life by giving. For that, Columbus is a better place to live, work, and play.
I know that I share sadness with all of you still today that are here over losing Pete Robinson, a dear friend to not only me, but to many, many people here in this room.
Pete Robinson left behind a long and lasting legacy. His family, his 3 great kids, Carolyn, Miller, and Grant, his public service. He had a powerful impact on many, including a lot of us in this room today.
I first met Pete in 1984 when he was elected to the Georgia House of Representatives.
I first met Pete about 44 years ago. We were both first-year law students, summer clerking at a firm in Columbus, Georgia.
I first met Pete Robinson in 2004 when I was an intern at the state capitol working in the Ways and Means Committee.
He was always someone that would impress you, not because he was such a glad-hander or the kind of thing that many people think they have to do to impress people. Pete would impress you just by who he was and what he did and what he understood. I think one of the most important things that Pete understood was a truism in politics and actually in life in general, and that is that knowledge is power.
And if you look at Pete Robinson, he loved Columbus. Columbus, he kind of treated like his child. He wanted everything good for it.
Pete Robinson's contribution to Columbus are numerous. 2 that I can readily remember are the Columbus Public Library and the Mercer School of Medicine, 2 projects that he gave many, many years of his hard work and has a lot of sweat equity in both projects.
If you look at what he did for Hope Scholarship, if you look at what he did, he was a pioneer on changing the flag. Pete brought about the single factor sales tax in Georgia. We don't talk about that enough, but what a boom for the business community of Georgia. And Pete was behind all of that. There are so many things in this state that people have no idea that Pete Robinson played a part in that.
When he decided to leave the political arena as an elected official, he didn't leave politics. He became an integral part of what it took for other people who were elected to be successful. He became advisor and confidant for many individuals who were in office or who were seeking office.
Pete was also a consummate professional. He had a talent of how to get along with most and find common ground. He was able to agree to disagree, a lost art these days it seems sometimes. Pete was very good at finding commonality and common ground. That's why he was successful at arbitrating and lobbying.
I've always said, Pete Robinson needs to be in everybody's life, because I can give him all the credit for whatever success I've had, either on the local level or on the state level. If it hadn't been for Pete, I wouldn't be sitting where I'm at right now. So I give all the credit, all the acknowledgement I can to Pete Robinson.
I think one of the biggest things that I loved about Pete is when I went through Leadership Georgia, Pete actually wrote a letter of recommendation for me. And it's one of those mementos that I still have because quite frankly, it was one of the nicest letters anyone has ever written about me. And he said a lot of great things in that letter. And I think the most important thing, though, that he said, and the thing that sticks with me the most, is that Pete Robinson called me his friend. Sorry.
I miss that man. I still read the last text I wrote to him and that he wrote back. And I still remember the last words I told Pete. I said, "Pete, I love you." And he told me, "I love you too."
Pete was a great guy. He never forgot where he came from. He loved the Columbus community. He loved his friends.
We're going to miss Pete. I know I'm going to miss him. But we'll always remember the many wonderful things he did for our state and our communities across the state. Thank you.
To my good friend Pete Robinson, to his family, and to his friends, I say thank you for allowing him to be a part of my life, my administration, and for making him available to make our state of Georgia even stronger than it would have been otherwise. Thank you.
He will be sorely missed, and to me, he was a great mentor, friend, colleague. I know he'll be missed by you all. And Pete, God bless.
His work took him to Atlanta and beyond, yet his soul remained in Columbus, a constant advocate for our city and the people who live and work here. Pete's passing left a hole in our hearts for our friendship, for his family, and his large circle of friends. A good man to the core, Pete will be missed. May God bless him and his family.
This tie that I'm wearing today is in memory of my dear friend Pete Robinson. His two sons, Miller and Grant, came by my office at Sonoma's last week and brought me this tie in memory of their father. And I am delighted and honored to be able to wear it today in memory of my friend, Pete Robinson.